Alright, Beginner's Guide to Dark Forces 2, Level 2, The Lost Disc. Suppose I should have included this in the first video. This is where you'd spend force points, but we don't have the option to do that yet. So you can either click OK twice, or at the end of the first level you can just hold the Enter key, and that'll skip you through both of these menus. Another thing I forgot to mention in the first video is strafe running. This strafing is faster than just running in a straight line, because it actually adds together the forward and horizontal momentum, so you just get more speed. But another important point is that going from strafing left to strafing right is slower than just strafing one direction and then using your mouse to change direction. Because when you go from left to right, you have to lose all of the momentum from the left and then add it all back to the right before you're up to full speed again. But if you just turn your mouse, you keep all of your speed and change your direction instantly. Okay. Then for this level, you're going to want to go this way, and you see this gun here that you can pick up, and you drop down to this ledge. And then I like to hit crouch right as I reach the edge of that so that I land right on nicely in here. You want to land on the slope so you avoid taking fall damage. And let's do that again. And picking up that arm there is what triggers this door to open. I like to try to jump through there before those guys can start throwing TDs at me. Interesting point here is you can try to drop past these guys. Most of the time that won't work very well. Then you can see I'm getting stuck on him, but if you land on this slope, that'll push you sideways just enough that you can usually get over the top of them. Some shields here I like to grab, they're not really necessary. Another enemy to jump over. Yeah, this is all pretty much following the level the way you're supposed to. Then you get to the Gamorreans. Oh, this is a bad pattern. So, like I mentioned before, their spawn points are always the same, but how they move is random. And sometimes you get this pattern where they are just standing right next to each other and completely blocking that door. And about the only way to continue from there is to just kill them. Another couple of shields I like to grab. If you miss the TDs on the first level, killing this guy can get you some. I also like to kill him because he'll run out here and start throwing them at you when you're trying to do the next skip. I'll just get that guy out of the way right now. Okay. But if you don't get any from that guy and you miss some on the first level, some backups over here. Just to go through this again. He dropped some TDs, but I missed them. So then we get the first TD jump. This is one of the more difficult tricks in the game, because the timing's fairly precise all around. I'll have a link to a video that goes into depth on that skip. That'll come right after this video. Once you're up here, jump over here, and I like to quick save once I'm up there because sometimes if you don't time the jump right, you're going to bonk off of the ceiling and you won't make it across. Then once you're up here, you hit this button. Some more shields you can grab since the TD jump's going to eat away at your shields quite a bit, but hitting that button starts moving these things. And then we got the window jump. And this is one of those things where the mouse movement to turn your character is really important, because doing that, I keep all of my sideways momentum, only now it's pushing me towards the window instead of just continuing straight along that way. And sometimes you just get kind of wedged in here, you just hold crouch, he'll work his way through. But once you're up here, you want to hit this button, because that's going to start the door opening over there. You can see it going now. And to get back out of here, you want to strafe jump, just strafe into this. You want to aim to the side of the button instead of directly at it. Because if you jump straight at the button, he's just going to fall off. If you land beside it, you'll catch the edge, then you just work your way over the top of the button, and you should land out here. Then this room, not too much to it. I'm just coming back here to grab more thermal detonators. And then some more potential skips here. There's one you can do like, restart. One you can do that's like this. And ideally, what will happen with that is you'll catch that edge right there, and from there you can jump and make it up onto that. The alternative is like the first one, like the first TD jump. I'm awful at this one. Yeah, I also don't have the health for it. But that one you'd use to boost up onto that space there and climb up. They are quite difficult. Yeah, the skips in this right area are some of the hardest in the game. If you don't want to go for them, you can always just wait for this platform. It only costs you about 20 seconds. And then we get to another spot where the mouse turning to maintain speed, but change direction is really important. Yeah, I'm doing it pretty poorly. There we go. But that lets you make it a jump all the way across the gap. That way you don't have to wait for more platforms to go by. Okay, just barely. And then we're past that section. So if you're low on health when you get here, there are a couple of spots up ahead where you're going to take fall damage for sure. It's possible these guys will drop health, but there's also some health and shields right here. It's just laying around if you need it. So then we get to this. Normally there's a puzzle in this room, but if you do it right, you can usually just do something like that. You land down here. Then you're going to land down here. Then we get to that. It's fairly precise to just turn your camera and get the right angle to land down here. You take less fall damage if you do it that way, but you can alternatively just jump. And then depending on your health, you can just land down here. You get to this room. This slope, you can't run on it, except in the corners. In the corner, you can just work your way up. And then you'll just jump onto these lifts when you get to them. Get them out of the way. But it's important to note that you should be doing this while the lifts are moving down, because that will actually make your jump get enough height to get on top of them. And here, passing this area right here, is the trigger for the next elevator cycle to start moving. So you actually have quite a bit of time once you're in here. I like to jump over here, grab whatever that guy drops if he drops anything, and the TDs and shields that are over there, and kill these guys. Kill that guy, and grab all this stuff if you need it. And then we're waiting on this elevator. And it doesn't matter how quickly you get over here as long as you catch it before it leaves. And that guy's gonna throw TDs at you and is generally just a jerk. And that jump's not nearly as scary as it looks. You get out here, and killing these three is the trigger for the level to end. Okay, so normally that's where this level would end, but since the TD jumps are really difficult, And I know some people probably just want to finish runs and don't want to deal with the hassle of learning this right away. There's an alternate route you can take, where... Let's start from over here. This is where I killed those 3 guys, and that guy. So instead of going to that corner for the TD jump, you can run over here. There's an angle you can take that lands you right up in that room. See if I can get it. Ah. Anyway. You drop down here. Hit this button. Yeah, shouldn't do it that way. You drop down here. Hit this button, and then you're going to want to move pretty quickly. That's not going to be good enough. Didn't make it. You don't want to land on top of this box. And then from the box, you're gonna jump up here, and you're right back over here. You're just gonna want to hit the button as you're making your way over. Probably kill the guy that's still over there, and then you're just waiting on this platform, and you'll do the window jump like usual. It's not necessary to kill any of the enemies in this room. All you really need to do is hit the button and then make your way back out. There's some extra ammo and some shields if you need them. That's all you really need to do. And then just continue on with the level like I showed earlier. Yeah, that does it for level 2.